Drugs. See your girl in the park. System overload.
This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full-Time MMA. Don't be a bagel biting, bagel bitch boy, bagel bitch back.
What is going on, Full-Time family? I'm here. I know the shit was a couple minutes late, but we are live. This is an impromptu stream. We usually don't do these on fight day, but it's McGregor versus Khabib, and I wanted to do a panel last night after work, but I was swamped, shit to do, had to get the stream ready, had to do the fake money bankroll, had to get the Cardi B I Like It remix re-recorded so I could send it to Stockton Slaps because he got it officially remastered for today specifically. So what a way to start the show. Let's go, Full-Time family. Give the Full-Time family a little more time to roll in. In about 6 hours, 7 hours from now, McGregor and Khabib will be walking out to the octagon. Full-Time family, it is 6 October. Right now, 6 October. More volume, Full-Time. Alright. Oh, I hate this fucking computer. Let me fix this. Properties. That is crazy, dude. Alright, guys. I should be coming in louder. This computer is absolute dog shit. And it's crazy because it was the most expensive one you could get from Walmart, right? Some of you guys might not remember this story, man. We fucking took out a payday loan a while back to get this computer before our first interview with Sean O'Malley. And I was going to get the $400 computer, and I was like, man, I might as well spend the extra $200 because this was probably going to be shitty. I did it, and this computer has a problem to where don't touch anything, and the fucking microphone just turns down. Doesn't matter. I got it set, turns down, so I won't even know when I'm coming in low like that. So apologize for the technical difficulties, but now you should be able to hear me loud and clear. We have location, we have date, 6 October. What I was saying before this, if you didn't hear me, was, man, I was up late, planned on doing this panel last night after work, but I had to get a lot of shit done. And this is one of those things, so salute to Stockton Slaps for the remaster on the Cardi B remix, Conor McGregor versus Khabib. Let's check this out before we get started.
We have been preparing for war.
They call me Conor McGregor, there's no one better. I'ma fuck Khabib up, then go rematch Floyd Money Mayweather. If this dog shit Dagestani thinks he can stand with me, I'll damage him and leave him panicking. Let Russia know I am the king. I don't like you, won't even pretend to try to. I've waited this long to fight you. You shouldn't have fucked with my crew.
We have been preparing for war.
You ambushed Artem Lobov in the hotel lobby, so we went and called game. Now I'm coked up off of Molly, so I'm coming to the stage, and I think that you should probably stay the fuck up out my way. Somebody get me a dolly. Let's go.
You really think you're gonna enjoy with me? You can say that. You have problem with my brother. You give him slap, now you have to give answer. You think whiskey gonna help you?
Yo, Conor McGregor, what the fuck is wrong with you? Come here, let me smash you like chicken, just let me humble you. Take all these drugs, but you won't take home a W. If we fight in UFC or if we fight with guns and crews. No, let me stop it, you don't want me to take it there. If you want, you can take a bear, send location, and I'll be there.
Ask these nuts.
Salute to Stockton Slaps. Let's go. Who do you guys have winning? Holy shit. If you think you know who's gonna win this fight, I'm jealous of you because I've been racking my brain all night, all day. Who's gonna win? Who's going to win this fight? Khabib Nurmagomedov, undefeated, 26-0. Ideally, you think he's a bad style matchup for McGregor, but at the same time, McGregor's a bad style matchup for Khabib. Khabib's got the size. Khabib's got the better team, a.k.a. over SBG, champion on champion on champion over at a.k.a. Khabib's got the wrestling base. Like, Khabib's got every reason that he possibly could win this fight, should win this fight. But as somebody that's picked against McGregor when he fought Mendez on short notice, when he fought Aldo, when he fought fucking Alvarez, It's hard to pick against a guy fucking 4 times in a row and be wrong every time. It's hard. I think I'm kind of convinced at this point Conor McGregor's on another level. Then when you watch the Dan Hardy breakdown, God damn, he breaks it down so well. So well, you really see the level that Conor McGregor is on out here, man. But also, we've seen potential holes in his cardio, right? Cardio advantage, another one you give to Khabib. Every reason you could count Conor McGregor out of this fight, but you can't. But you fucking can't, guys. And that's what this show's going to be. The fights come on. I'm going to be watching all the way from the Fight Pass prelims, which probably come on in about 2 hours. So this is going to be a panel where you guys can join. Everybody can join and just talk about the fights, give our preview, our predictions, and then we'll get out of here and it'll be time to watch the fights. So with that being said, I'm going to put the link. I'm going to see how many people are watching. If there's like over 25 people watching, then we'll probably have to do it emails because I don't want no trolls to fuck up the stream. Also, my girl's got to be to work in like the next hour and a half. I really shouldn't be streaming right now because I got a lot of shit going on. And I might have to mute my mic here and there. She gets to tripping and I got to kind of respond. I don't need to be out here, you know what I'm saying? So I might have to mute my mic for a second, which is why this is going to be a good panel. So I got to get the panel live. That being said, we're going to get the panel rolling. Let's pull up the chat, give some shout outs and the such. Man, let's see where we at. I'm going to have to pull it up over here. Boom, this way. And if you haven't yet, make sure you check out UFC Yankovic on YouTube. Subscribe there. We need to get that to 1,000 subscribers one of these days. So I'm going to be figuring some shit out. We're going to be changing some shit up full-time, family, because this YouTube account, maybe it's just YouTube in general, independent creators. I'm going to try some shit out with newer channels. Like, I don't know. Another topic for another day. Let's see. Live streaming. Let's pull up the stream so I can pull up the chat. All right, here we are. Events. I know you guys don't give a fuck about it, so here we go. Here we go. This is where we're at. Let's open that in a new window. Pull up the chat. Gotta be mute. There we go. I know you guys. Mute it. Alright, here we are, family. Now we're in the building. Now we are in the building. Push this over here. Get the panel on deck, and then it'll be time to talk about these fights with the full-time family. Let's see, we got 0 watching. That's not right. Oh, 54 watching. Okay, now we're loaded up. Alright, so if you guys want to join the panel, send link in the Twitter group chat. Says forward. I got you. I got your back. Let me go to Twitter. Let me pull up the actual Google Hangout. Google.com. And yeah, guys, I really need the panel on this one anyway because I need to hear your thoughts. For one, it's UFC 229. Everybody wants to hear the full-time family's thoughts, the Mystic full-time family. But not only that, if I go quiet for about 30 seconds, just carry the show forward. I know you got it. Google Hangouts didn't pop up, so now it will. Here we go. Load it up. Twitter group chat loading up. And then also, anybody else, while I'm doing this, if you want to join the panel and give your thoughts on UFC 229, anything you saw, including maybe Aspen Ladd's weight cut. Man, she's missed weight in the past. She looked like she almost passed out low-key twice after making weight. It's like, damn, maybe she should be fighting at 145. I don't know, but she's taking on Tanya Evinger, who's a very game opponent. Let's get this Google Hangout going, though. Over here, all right, Google Hangout is up. Now I just got to copy the link. Boom, there it is. Got the link copied. Twitter, boom, group chat, link in there. Bam, now you got it. All right, now let's pull up my email, fulltimemma1@gmail.com. If you were wondering, if you want to join the panel, just email that email and just say anything, and I'll respond with the link. So, here we go. Chat's up. Salute to Q8 Pity Bull says Drake's gonna be embarrassed. CFR Sports says I ain't in the Twitter group. Didn't know such a thing existed. Yeah, no, I think Forward, one of them, Forward or Stamina MC, someone started a Twitter group. There's one other guy in there too that I don't even know. I just randomly got put in there. So yeah, I'm just in like a 4-man Twitter group, so I know what he was talking about. But yeah, it's not really something that, you know what I'm saying, that it's like not like a full-time thing. Stan MC says, bartender, I need a shot of whiskey with the clout chaser. Yo, Drake is the motherfucking clout goblin, dog. Drake is a clout goblin, man. A lot of you motherfuckers ain't hardcore. Y'all don't be knowing how it be going. Drake is a clout goblin, a clout demon. Anybody that's got the clout, Drake puts himself next to him, rubs off on Drake. How y'all think he stays on top for so long? Besides having some of the greatest music in the game. I mean, I'm a big Drake fan, but I'm just saying, unbiased, real, recognized, real. My nigga's a real clout demon. I seen him with McGregor. I seen that. But no, I knew McGregor's camp had ties with OVO before that, before I just make the clout demon jokes. I'm just joking because Drake does seem to do that, you know, to attach yourself to like the hot things. But no, Dylan Danis has had links to OVO, and he's part of McGregor's camp. Like, I seen Dylan Danis on Twitter in the past talking about OVO and shit. And so I'm pretty sure Team McGregor's had the links with the OVO camp for a while now. But, and right, Drake came out to Mayweather versus McGregor in Toronto. I don't know if he took sides, but he was kind of there. Drake, though, yeah, Drake's into the UFC. I don't know. At first, I was like, man, is he even talking about Max Holloway in this song? And now Max Holloway's headlining in Toronto, and he's like running through the 6 with my woes. I was like, oh shit, Drizzy's low-key a fucking UFC fan and shit. I'm him, says them clouts, I swear. Bandwagon God, says Q8 Pitbull. Yo, Drizzy the bandwagon. Yo, he was with Ninja, right? The most popular Fortnite player. Conor McGregor, the most popular fucking MMA fighter. I mean, you can go to, like, music. He's always with, like, the new hottest young talent, whether it's, like, JB, Block Boy, Lil Baby, whoever. Drake is always on the new wave, man. He's always on the front line. Can't be mad, man. It seems to be good business. Honestly, if we ain't gonna just hate. Given Your Name says, I'll be back for the stream tonight. Shout out to the fam. Fook the Jameson brothers. Y'all want to hear a funny fucking story about Proper 12 until my boy Forward or somebody else gets in this chat? Fucking, I had about I'll say about a third of a bottle of Proper 12 left, right? For the stream tonight. Fucking, my mom's over here. I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm like, oh, mom showed up today. Fucking, let's go say hi. What's up, mom? Haven't seen you in a few days. How's it going? Fucking, so she leaves. Everything's all good. I just think mom just came by and shit. I'm like, oh, it's time for the fight companion. I'm getting everything ready. I'm like, oh, I gotta go get my bottle. Why do I got like a quarter of a bottle left, bro? I might have like 4 fucking shots left of Proper 12. I had to go buy like a 40. I'm like, I can't have 4 shots for my fucking fight companion. Like, damn, mom, I told you can have a shot or 2 like a few days, but take it easy, sweetie. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we got like 4 or 5 shots of Proper 12, but I had to go get some beer, you know what I'm saying? Just back up because I needed something to drink. Yo, that rap was dope. Thanks. I appreciate it. Q80 Pitbull. Nick Smallwood says, how is Proper 12? I think it's good, but I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm used to drinking cheap shit, and it's more expensive than my blood. But if you're somebody that's used to buying, like, really expensive liquor, maybe you have a different opinion. But I think it's fire, and there's a lot of people that agree. My boy Jorge 1, I know he's been on the Proper 12. You know, it's got, like, a hint of vanilla. That's definitely something. And I like Proper 12. I like it. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't buy it if I wasn't watching a Conor McGregor fight companion, just because, you know what I'm saying, it's not like I was a huge whiskey drinker before this, so maybe even a whiskey drinker has a different opinion. But if it's a McGregor fight, I'll most likely fucking for sure have a bottle of Proper 12. Jorge once says, let's get you another bottle. Man, that would be my 3rd bottle. And thank you, Jorge, because Jorge bought me that first bottle, but then I was like, damn. Like, after they announced Valentina Shevchenko versus Sarge Eubanks, I was like, I have to drink to this. You know what? I just felt like shit that night. So I was like, I have to get back into this bottle. So that night I finished the bottle of Proper 12. And then I was like, well, shit. I had to save some for the companion. So I went and bought another bottle, so I'd still have some for the companion. Drank half of that to save half of the companion, and my mom knocked off half of that. So, yeah, we don't got enough. Brian419 says email. I'll type my email in here for anyone that wants on the panel, because that's really what this is for. because I wasn't planning on going live until the fight companion. Only reason I'm doing this is so if you guys have thoughts on the fights, you can get in here, talk about the fights, preview, predictions. Jorge one says same place. No, I think I called them. There's a different place. The place I went's even closer too. But yeah, that would be. If you were gonna do that though, I'd have to end this stream sooner rather than later because my girl's gonna be taking the car to work at like 5 and it's 3 now, so I'd have to go pick that up. But there's another place. No, yeah, Jorge, if you want, man, if you want, I'll fucking find it real quick. But yeah, I'll have to fit that into the stream. I personally can't tell the difference to be H Jabba the Hutt. I have to yeah. So if you guys are gonna join the panel, let me know. We got to get that underway. We'll probably be live for like an hour, and then we got to get ready for the real stream, the fight companion. Go to the store, get another. I'll PayPal you the money when you get back. Loud when you're litty. It's funny. It's funny. Stay with the MC. What's going on, Forward? Yeah, well.
1, 2, testing.
All right, let me send you the new place. Forward's in here. Let's
Can you hear
let
me?
Forward get his thoughts off. Yeah, you hear me, Forward? Forward,
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
I hear you, Forward, if you can hear me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I think I can hear you, but it's a little bit delayed, I think. Something like that.
Okay, well, I don't know why it would be, but with that being said, what's going on, man? Hopefully it clears up soon. It's like it might be a little bit of a you said there might be a little bit of a lag. I'm like, oh yeah, well let's continue the conversation. What's going on? We got some more people looking for the link. How's it going, Forward, man? Can you come to a conclusion on this main event? Break it down for us. You got any new thoughts after watching the embeddeds, the weigh-ins, everything?
Man, so hopefully we're all synced up because I feel like I'm a little bit behind in terms of hearing your voice. But yeah, I mean, first of all, shout out to the chat, shout out to Given Surname, Leon Dobson, everybody in the chat, obviously. It's not just a big day, it's the biggest day, man. It's the biggest day for this fight. You see history and my thoughts on this fight, right? So on the previous panel I came on, I don't want to be a flip-flop, but I was pretty much 55% thinking, you know what, Conor's gonna get this done, but ever since I've had the maddest change of heart, I'm probably about 70-30 sure Khabib's gonna win this. And hey, I'm as big a Conor fan as you're gonna find out. But don't get it wrong, you know, I'm not really against his team, Ali Abdelaziz and all that. You know, I know that there's been a lot of conflict, but I'm not against those guys. But at the same time, I look at it from a striking aspect, from the overall MMA game. My one gripe with how I don't see Conor winning is just once Khabib gets that takedown, because I believe he will in that first round eventually, is how much damage will Conor take? How will he be able to resist getting grounded and pounded? Because ultimately, people question his stamina, his endurance, or he can actually go into the later rounds and actually have enough in the tank to be able to fight Khabib and actually be able to withstand the takedowns and actually be able to strike and effectively do damage to get the knockout. And if he takes that damage in the first round from the ground and pound, I don't see how he's going to be at a point where he's in a good position to be able to fight back properly in the second and third round. Certainly by the time he gets to the third round, I don't see how he's going to have anything left in the tank. So if he doesn't get that first round knockout, for me, I just don't see how he gets it done in it. And it pains me to say, because I see this fight, so it's going to be crazy, man, whichever way. But yeah, I'm leaning towards Khabib for this fight at this moment.
You know, this is a funny story. A lot of you don't know because I do the fake money thing now over on Patreon. But I want to tell you this because what you said, I too, man, I was leaning toward McGregor, and the closer the fight got, I was like, man, I think McGregor's got this. Like watching the Dan Hardy breakdown, like I'm just like realizing how good McGregor is. Even if people think McGregor's a little overrated, I think he's a little underrated as far as his grappling and some of the shit we learned. And just in that Dan Hardy breakdown, some of the shit you see when he really breaks it down for you. But I'm not going to lie, kind of like you, but it's not even just this fight, man. Like a few fights, right before the fight, I'm not as confident in the picks. Like I'm kind of feeling like Khabib might take this here. And you know what? I agree with you. And it's a little bit about what I talked about before the panel really came on. Is Khabib has so many fucking advantages in this fight that you could point out. Whether it's cardio, whether it's grappling, whether it's team, whether it's more active. He's been fighting MMA. Conor's been gone for 2 years. Like there's so many things you can point out why Khabib probably will win this fight, and that's why I'm kind of leaning toward Khabib. But at the same time, I don't think McGregor's just your average fucking striker that Khabib has possibly faced in the past. And I think that's why Conor's still so dangerous in this fight. But I like you. I'm kind of leaning toward Khabib. And with that being said, I think we also have a new member of the panel, CFR Sports, in the building. Looks like we also got Christian in the building, and also
Yes, sir.
Brian motherfucking 419. What's going on, everybody?
What's
up?
happening?
What's up?
Not much.
What's happening?
Good to see you guys all on the panel. A few first timers. So with that being said, Christian, how's it going? Good to see you on the panel. What are your thoughts on this main event, Christian? Khabib versus Conor.
Well, first of all, let me take a sip of my proper 12 and some ice. Shake it up, bring it up.
Let's go. Yo, I'm about to go get mine out the freezer. Fuck it. All right, break it down for us, Christian. I'm getting mine out the freezer. I got to take a shot to that.
Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you something right now in regards to proper 12. I don't know a fucking goddamn thing about whiskey, but I like this shit.
Hey, I'm with you. Fuck the Jameson brothers.
I don't know a damn thing about whiskey, but I like this shit. I'll tell you that right now. That's number one. Oh, my God. Number two, I literally... All right, so in Reddit, the MMA subreddit, this dude made an app. It's called... fucking shit. It's called Alarm for UFC Fights. The shit just went off right now, and I got a goosebumps running through my body when I saw that tonight is Saturday, October 6th. Tonight's the fucking fights. Oh my God. I cannot wait.
October.
Oh, 6 October. You know what the number one bullshit was? That yesterday was the October 5th and we had to wait one more fucking day. Oh my God. Yo, I was thinking today, like, I'm still going with Conor, but like I was listening to Brendan Schaub and Josh Thompson today, their podcast. Josh Thompson was on Below the Belt, and they were going over like some fights, and they were going through everything. And I'm like, yo, I'm not a Khabib hater. I love Khabib. I've loved him from the moment he's gotten in. His ability to control and smash is crazy. However, Conor's my boy. Conor's my boy since the moment he stepped into the octagon against Marcus Brimage. And what I keep I keep going back in this fight, and I really think it's gonna look very similar to Joanna and Claudia Gadeja, wherein Claudia jumps on Claudia. If we remember, Claudia was putting Joanna on her ass in the first round and the second round, and then Joanna got clipped. I think it was the first round, one time or two times, and then in the second round one time, and then you saw the tides turning. I think that we might see something like this tonight. I agree with Brendan Schaub. I don't see the fight ending in one round, somebody getting clipped early. I just don't see it. Not to say it can't happen. I just don't see it, and I just think that we're in for 25 minutes of a glorious battle, and I just see Conor McGregor giving us an epic post-match like speech with Rogan. And you know what I also see? I also see some KJ Noons and the Diaz brothers back in the Elite XC days. Was that Elite XC? Where there was a rumble in the cage. I see some of that shit happening tonight too.
Oh shit, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, because Conor, man, it's crazy. He was like, I don't know why. I'm really into this shit. I'm eating it up. But he was like, even after the fight, this shit ain't over. Like, I don't know.
No peace. You strive for peace. And when there's no peace,
aim in between the head, in between the eyes.
My God. I just can't wait. I can't wait. That's it. I can't even right now.
All right.
Well,
CFR Sports, man. It's good to have you on the panel too for the first time. What are your thoughts on this main event? And welcome to the channel and to the panel.
No problem at all. I kind of echo the enthusiastic response of the last brother. I think Conor's definitely going to take it. Although Khabib is a very well-rounded, he's got very good conditioning, and he's got a very stifling style. But I think ultimately the power is going to be
this is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching
the winner
time
and will prevail. I just don't see. I don't think he's been tested as much. He's definitely got a very high record, undefeated, etc. But the level of caliber hasn't been the greatest. It's only in the last three fights he's faced anyone with any real sort of competition level, I would say. So I'm gonna go with Conor on that. I'll put some money on that there as well.
Okay, putting some money on it. Okay, so with that being said, man, I know no one can wait for McGregor versus Khabib, the main event, but really this whole card is stacked, and I'm not gonna lie, all the way up the fucking card, I can't call it. Herrig versus Waterson. I feel like Herrig has a really good chance at winning. She's the bigger fighter. She's 4-1 in her last 5 fights. She's only lost to Karolina Kowalkiewicz via split decision. Other than that, her only loss in the UFC is to Paige Van Zandt, and she was not on her game that night. We just got a $2 super chat from Given Surename. Yo, thank you very much for the $2 super chat, Given Surename. Let me pull up the chat and see what the message said. He said, can you use super chat for a bottle tonight? No, you don't get super chat until the end of the month. Only PayPal and Cash App, or like if you call the liquor store and like pay for it on your card, which is how Jorge did it last time. My boy Jorge won. So, but yeah, not super chats. Those are end of the month type things. Forward says, I got questions for these dudes. I need some converting. Okay, Forward. Well, with that being said, you're on the panel, correct? Yeah. If so, let's get some of those questions going. Jorge,
absolutely. I mean, I was on the Conor train before, and
real quick, I just wanted to tell Jorge.
No worries.
I emailed you, brother.
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead. I just wanted to tell him I emailed him with the details. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Nice, sweet. Well, I mean, I've been like a lot of people who have doubted Conor in the past. I mean, I picked him to beat Aldo, picked him to beat Mendes, and I picked him to beat DIAZ both times, and he lost the first one. But I've been on the McGregor train for the most part. There's something about what I've seen this week when I've watched a lot of Khabib's previous fights, and I just saw. Alright, so there's the questions that I want to ask you guys, right? So how bad really? In fact, you know what? What do you think is closer in terms of what do you think? Who has a bigger disparity in terms of their skill set? So is there a bigger disparity? Is there a bigger gap in skills between their grappling or their striking? That's what I want to ask first of all.
And
so anyone can answer that because I need some convert.
They're striking, honestly. I don't know. I say
I'm gonna go with striking. I'm gonna go with striking. I honestly believe there's a bigger disparity. There's a bigger gap between their striking than their grappling. Not to say that Conor's grappling is anything in remotely even close to the realm of Khabib. However, I always feel like with grappling, I just feel like Khabib's plan is simple: dive for the legs, go for the legs, close the gap. As opposed to, and like you can train for that. Like Conor can train for that. Conor can do everything in his power just to remove the lead leg, get your hips out of the way. Conor has the movement. He's light on his feet where he can get out of the way. He can frame, he can post up on Khabib's head and get out of the way. As opposed to Khabib. Khabib doesn't have you can't train for Conor striking. It takes longer to get prepared for the striking that Conor can brings to the table than it does to prepare for Khabib's takedown. However, I'll say this: when Khabib takes him down, because he's taking him down unless McGregor TKOs him or not TKOs him, catches him and KOs him, TKOs him, and off rip. But
yeah,
when Khabib takes him down, I think. Oh, here we go again with these two. Hold on a second, boys.
Let me jump in here real quick.
Go ahead. Jump up in there, Brian.
All right. So check it out. When I hear striking versus grappling, I definitely give it the advantages to striking. But
what? You mean grappling?
Oh damn! He just cut out.
Oh, he cut off. Man, I don't know if that's my internet or what, because
you
remember the last time people kept cutting off the stream, and someone said like that was happening to them in the chat. It's like what the fuck? So that might be
true. Yeah,
that might be a connection thing.
I've never had that issue.
Throwing out, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why that is, but I'm pretty sure it's coming from my end. I don't know. Because I'm direct connected and everything.
You know what? Let me just
go ahead.
Yeah. So just to respond to what you said, Christian. So, yeah, you know, I see what you mean. Obviously, you know what, Conor's grappling defense is actually really underrated because you look at how his grappling defense was against Nate. He did stuff a few takedowns from Mendes. Obviously, there was the one in the second round which he got held down and he didn't get up until obviously the submission. Now that's something I need you guys to remember. He didn't get up until Mendes went for the submission. Now, striking to grab anything. I feel like we've seen this fight. We've seen this exact fight, Khabib versus McGregor, twice before this year. Yeah, we can hear you, brother.
Oh, yeah. Well,
you cut off, but
we've seen this fight twice before.
I was making my point, but I forgot where I left off.
Yeah,
I was going to say, now forward's in the middle, so after forward, maybe he'll be able to remind you.
All right, yeah, so I got the memory of a goldfish. Let me just write it so I can remember it. But yeah, so we've already seen this fight, I think, twice before this year, right? We've seen it already with Woodley versus Till, and we saw it with Stipe versus Ngannou. And I feel like that grappling advantage, once you get a person down, you take over an entire fight. You determine where the fight goes. If you don't want to strike at the person, you take them down. And more than likely, if they haven't got good get-ups, they're not going to rest around. So when I look back into who's got the better, where's the more gap between the striking and the grappling, I feel like there's a bigger gap in their grappling. Not because McGregor hasn't got good takedown defense or hasn't got good get-ups, but hasn't shown the ability to really get up from someone as strong as Khabib. Let's not forget, Khabib's manhandled bigger lightweights, even some people who used to be welterweights compared to some featherweight, and it's probably like a middle size, maybe even a slightly small lightweight, if we're being completely honest, compared to, let's say, an Eddie Alvarez, a Nate Diaz, a Tony Ferguson, Khabib. And my point is, when we look at their striking, I look at Khabib's striking. Yes, it doesn't look fundamentally great. Yes, his chin's up, and that's a big no-no. You don't want to be having your chin up against Conor because you're going to sleep instantly if he catches you like that. But when I look at striking defense, I have to say it's been great. I mean, when you look at who he's fought against, let's say RDA, Barboza, Iaquinta, Michael Johnson, and then I'm looking at those are pretty much his last 4 fights, including the Horcher as well. These are all good strikers, other than Horcher. He was a bum, let's just say, compared to these elite fighters I was talking about. His striking defense was good. He outstruck all of those guys if you actually look back at the fight. And yes, his technique wasn't great.
Barboza was a kickboxer, though.
And he used the...
Yeah, but he outstruck him. He outstruck him not on the feet, though. Not on the feet.
That was a
kickboxer. He crowded the fuck out of Barboza, which is what you do against a kick.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying he would beat any of those guys in a kickboxing fight. I don't think he'll beat any of those guys in the kickboxing fight, but I'm saying his striking in MMA is so effective. He gets it done with that pressure. And I don't think he's in a pressure corner. I don't think that's going to be the case. But I think in the way his defense is, the way he parries, a little bit like Yoram Romero, not as good as that, but the way he parries the strike, I think that's going to be really effective. And that's going to probably help him, in my opinion, just to survive until he can get the takedown. And once he gets the takedown, I just think it's a wrap from there.
Yeah, that's for sure. Once Khabib gets on top of Conor, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for however long that moment lasts, however that long that lasts. It's a wrap.
Yo, I want to finish my point.
Yep.
Go for it.
You remember it?
All right, so yeah. So I was saying that the striking advantage is going to go to Conor, not just any kind of advantage, but striking, the movement. The problem is the movement. In order for Khabib to win, he has to pin him down. He has to corner him. He has to track him down, and I don't think he's going to do that. When I think of striking, and I'm not just talking about like him landing that left hand and putting him out. It's just I'm talking about the footwork in particular. And given that, I do think that it's going to be tough for Khabib to essentially pin him down and get him to the mat. So that's why I was saying that striking, but not just striking, is the movement
and this
that
is
goes
another
along
thing
with
to
it.
That point, Khabib could very well take McGregor down and smash him in the first round, but he's not really known for finishing you down there, and that's going to give Conor a chance to reset. And I mean, it's still not good for Conor, because I feel like if you get taken down in round 1 or round 2, even if you survive, not good. It's not a good sign for your energy meter as far as your cardio going 5 rounds. So if Khabib gets his hands on McGregor, he might not finish him, and so Conor's still not out the fight. But at the same time, what do you guys think about McGregor's cardio? I think his cardio actually isn't going to be as much of a problem in this fight. I think it's been improving. I think Conor McGregor, and I don't know where Conor's at, but I think he would be a fool to just absolutely, not continue to work on his cardio in his off time. The Floyd Mayweather, the boxing fight, that still I think is going to help. He still went, 30? A boxing fight is 3-minute rounds or 12 2-minute rounds. Like it's 36 minutes
12
total.
threes. 12
went
threes.
12 threes. Yeah, it's 36 minutes total. So that's more cardio intensive, and but at the same time, like, what about the fact that Conor McGregor's got more money than he's ever had? What do you guys think about? Do you guys think Conor still has that hunger? He's not back because he needs the money. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He's not just
Absolutely.
Well, full time, as he said at the conference, he stated he's answered that question. He's coming back for the love of the thing, innit? He's coming back to compete, to bust people's heads open in it.
And
Oh damn.
No, I did hear him say that, but I mean, you can say that all you want. You know what I'm saying? Like when you got $100 million in the bank, you know, it ain't you just ain't as hungry. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's just not the same. But
Yeah.
at the same time,
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
it's not like Conor's coming back for some easy win. It's not like he's coming back because it's just a fucking super easy fight by any means. So he's got to at least be truthful in some way. The fact that he's coming back to fucking fight Khabib, a really tough matchup, and he doesn't need to. He could have waited for a better. He could have waited for Diaz. He could have waited for fucking anybody, but he chose to come back to lightweight and take on a very fucking tough opponent in Khabib, and he seems confident in that. So I think that's kind of in McGregor's favor. I mean, the fact that he chose to come back, and he's put it out there. You know, he says Khabib's flat-footed and he's got a glass jaw. I don't know about the glass jaw, but I do think he sees something in Khabib, whether it's in his footwork or whatever, that he feels like he can win this fight.
His zombie-like approach, I think, is what it is. Go on forward, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I see that as well. I mean, just two things I want to pick up from what you said, full-time, is, first of all, in terms of Conor's cardio, I think this is going to be the best cardio we're going to see from Conor in any of his fights, just because smart guy, so we know he's going to obviously be improving on his weaknesses, and undisputably, the boxing training that he took was obviously going to help his cardio in that sense. Also, people look at his cardio in a Nate Diaz fight, and that's normally where people point to and say, oh, his cardio was awful. He can't do 5 rounds, but people forget that was at 170, and even Nate Diaz tied at 170, which just shows that when you fight at your natural weight and you're not cutting weight at all, then you're going to just obviously naturally slow down. So that's the reason why I think we're going to see a better cardio from Conor. Now, on to one other thing you said full-time, which was Khabib. You kind of meant you insinuated that Khabib might not be a finisher, might not be like a prime finisher. And I know obviously everyone knows that he has finishes in his career, but some people almost don't want to give him credit for his finishing recently. And I want to just career. RDA fight in 2015, where it was a 3-round decision, and RDA was still actually a pretty good fighter back then. He wasn't as good as he was now, but still a good fighter, and it was a good fight. But when I went 3 rounds, he took a 1-year break out, and I think in that time, obviously he was injured, but he's even said, and it's well documented, he did a lot of training in there. He worked on the submission game, his overall ground game, not just the actual wrestling, but his jiu-jitsu as well. And he came back, and he completely destroyed Darrell Horcher in his first fight back. I mean, if you want to type in, if you just want to go look for domination in a dictionary, you're literally going to find Khabib versus Darrell Horcher in there.
But who's
it was disgusting, that entire fight.
But
exactly, but then we're going to the next fight, Michael Johnson. But we all know who Michael Johnson is, don't we? We know who the fuck that guy is. And he absolutely destroyed him in 2 rounds. Even begged him. He begged him to quit. And he didn't quit. So then he literally went to tear his arm off. Then the fight after that, Barboza, everyone's going to say that was a decision. But was it really a decision? I mean, he even said that he wanted to go the full 3 rounds.
But he didn't finish him, though. This is the thing, sibling. He didn't finish him.
I know, but the point I'm trying to make is he pretty much could have finished him. I mean, did we see what was happening in that second round? Entire 3 rounds. I feel like if he wanted to finish him, he could have finished him. And with Iaquinta, I mean, when the people say that, oh, he didn't finish Iaquinta, I saw holes in his game. This is maybe where my opinion of Khabib winning maybe differs from other people, because in that fight, I didn't see any weaknesses. I saw Khabib literally toying with someone that he knew he could beat any day of the week. Literally, with no practice, I can beat Iaquinta. I mean, literally, he's fighting a real estate agent, and you think he was going to take him seriously on freestyle?
But do these mans get paid by the hour, though? Or do they get paid to go in there and do the business and get the F out? You know what I mean? I'm telling you,
when you're super confident, would you not just think, you know what, I'm so cocky, I'm so confident, let me even though I'm a grappler, let me try and do a Muhammad Ali, because I watched a bit of Muhammad Ali earlier in the day. Let me start
agree with what you're saying.
Like, let me start jumping.
People underrate the fucking like they think people will never have like a plan. Like no one even thinks, oh, Khabib wouldn't have stood with Iaquinta to potentially draw Conor back. Like you know, because Conor's got $100 million. He don't have to come back to fight you, Khabib. You know what I'm saying? Like people act that was, I remember after the fight, some people were saying, man, Khabib didn't look great standing, but there was the thought that maybe Khabib was standing with Iaquinta to lure Conor back, to lure that fight. Now, that's a potential, and also he didn't stand with Iaquinta. You know, he chose to stand with him in the later rounds, but in the first couple rounds, he took him down and wore him out and made sure he wasn't just standing with the fresh Iaquinta. You know, he grinded him out a little bit before he decided to play with him a little bit. But also, one other thing is there's something to be said about the real fight experience. Like, hey, there's not going to be many times where I get to get in a real fight with another UFC fighter and get this real fight experience. So let's stand up with a guy who I can beat. Like you pointed out, it is Iaquinta. So let's stand up with him and get some in-fight experience. It's a little different than just sparring, you know, and so let's get some experience against this guy. So I think Khabib could have kind of chose to do that. You know, I don't think he was like, man, I want to finish him. I just can't.
And did he do the same thing with
fighting a
Barbosa as well?
salesman.
He did the same thing with Barbosa as well, and he was just testing his cardio, all
In my
these
opinion,
things.
Yeah, he did say that with Barbosa. Like,
you know, I mean, he's definitely a talented sambo fighter, and he's adding lots of different things to his game. Obviously, he's trained together, he's boxing, etc. But we can't get away from that zombie
connection.
Oh, damn.
It's funny. It's like ring around.
Yeah, but Christian,
Yo, I'm back. I was on the phone for a few minutes.
So good. So,
but I just want to hear your thoughts, man, because I need some converting, man, because I know I've been talking a lot in this, and going on hella tangents, but I want someone just to convince me that Conor's gonna win, because man, I just see a morning coming.
That's the thing,
I'm worried.
I don't think that there should be anybody, unless you are in like a legit member of Conor's camp or Khabib's camp, that should be 100% sold on anything that can happen in this fight. And to be honest with you, that goes for most fights, period. Like, I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen versus Tony and Pettis. Like, who the hell knows? That's the beauty. That's the beauty of the sport. Like,
this whole card is that way.
This whole card. You know, like, bro, like, I don't know. I'm a Conor dick rider. From
Let's go.
From the jump.
Let's go.
I can see Khabib taking him down round after round and just literally smashing him, like he says, just like burying his face into the mat. I can see that, you know. I can see Anderson Silva, Chael Sonnen 1 type fight where we're looking at 4 rounds, 4 minutes and 4 minutes or 3 minutes and 45 seconds of legit beatdown, and then Conor stands up and KOs him in a second. Like, anything is possible. Like, Daniel, I can't convince you that Conor's gonna win. I think he's gonna win. I feel he's gonna win. I just feel like Conor is light on his feet enough and smart enough that he only has to focus on one thing, and that is get his lead leg out of there when Khabib comes in. Just get it out, because Khabib is not a power double kind of guy. Khabib loves his single leg. Khabib loves his trips. To be able to do that, you got to get in close. Get a single leg, like me personally, when I used to compete, my technique was always a low single. And as long as you remove the lead leg, I'm fucking stuck. Khabib, the same shit. Not to say that Khabib and I are the same level of grapplers. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I understand.
No, we saw a little of that in the Iaquinta fight.
Yeah, you know, like Iaquinta. I mean, we could see a lot of parallels between Iaquinta and Khabib fight and Conor and Khabib fight. We could see them. I'm just saying that, like, I just think that Conor only has to deal with one thing. I mean, for example, everybody's talking about the left. Nobody's talking about Conor's, you know, teep kicks to the gut, teep kicks to the chest, like he did against Mendes. You know, but who was it? Who did he fight against? Was it against? Shit, who did he come out and Conor did? Oh, I think it was Poirier. Conor came out and did like a sidekick, not a sidekick, but he came across Poirier's face just to back him up. I could see Conor opening up with that move right there. You know,
It was Poirier.
it was Poirier. I could see that. Like honestly, when I see this fight, I see, you know, them coming in. I see a hell of a lot of security in the cage. You know, when Bruce Buffer and Herb Dean are in there, I like
You know,
none.
I just
Like,
thought about. I thought about
what's up?
fucking, so proper 12s on the canvas, right? Khabib
Mhm.
takes Conor down, and he's like, you know what? This
And
spot's,
no,
this
go ahead.
spot's not good enough. He fucking drags him to the proper 12, and he's like, this whiskey can't save you.
Yep.
This whiskey can't. Oh, shit, dude. It's a salute to
Yo, he does
CSH
like
Combat Sports in the building.
Oh,
Coco Butt, I'm him,
that cage needs to
247.
be back
Cam
up.
Murphy, everybody in the building. What's going on? But yeah, man, just the proper 12, like, I can see Khabib, like, making a point to drag him to that sign and punish him right by it. Like, holy shit.
I mean, with that shit, we could see a lot of epic things. Like, what was it? Was it a Diego Sanchez versus Paulo Thiago when he picked him up and yelled, as he ran him across the cage and slammed him down? Like, I could see Khabib doing some shit like that to slam him on the proper 12 logo. I also fucking Conor walking him into the proper 12 logo and dropping a hammer on him. Can you imagine that photo after the fight, like
Dude.
a KO'd Khabib on top of a proper 12 logo?
Proper 12 would be
That
over
would be epic.
Jameson. Like it would be a staple, like a household liquor, if he does that.
That's some movie type stuff,
If
man.
he can
That's
posterize
movie type
Khabib on the proper 12 logo.
Or Khabib can do the same shit to Conor. That's what I'm saying. Like, there are so many things. The only thing for certain is gonna be fucking insane. Conor and Khabib are both gonna walk into the cage. Herb Dean's gonna be in the cage, and Conor and the fight's gonna start on the feet, and that's it. That's the only thing I can guarantee. Everything after that, I don't fucking know.
And speaking of Herb Dean being in the cage, no one's talking about that. Remember, he like just let CB Dalloway die at Moscow. Like, he's already back. Like that's not good for Conor. Maybe like if this TKO involved, because Mario Yamasaki, he's still not back for the Priscilla Cachoeira thing, but Herb Dean's back like the next week in the biggest fight of all time. Like, holy snap!
This is definitely a fight I wish Big John was there for.
Yeah, he's in Bellator now, so that's not even a
in Bellator.
possibility. But
but like, this is a fight where I would have loved to see Big John. I would have loved to see, because you know there's no bullshit with Big John.
Yes, sir.
So,
all right.
Yeah, there's all these arguments for and against. It's crazy. I've heard them all, or nearly all. A bunch of trash out there, a bunch of good stuff out there. At the end of the day, I'm just going to sit down and enjoy the experience, man. Like, there's some fights where you walk into them, no expectations. You just watch the fucking fight happen, and it's just the best thing ever, you know? So that's the way I'm coming into this.
And that's how you should come into this whole card, because I'm telling you right now, if you look at every single card, I mean, on this, all 5 fights on the main card, Herrig Waterson is a toss-up. As much as you think Herrig might have the size advantage, and, you know, she's she's 4-1 in her last 5 fights, and Michelle Waterson, if she didn't win the split, like, if you break it down, and it doesn't matter, I'm telling you, Michelle could outwork, she can outstrike Felice, she could submit Felice, so this is a toss-up. Lewis versus Volkov. Oh, Lewis has a back injury coming off of a lackluster performance. Volkov is a beast, just finished Fabricio, but Derek Lewis got approved by USADA for some like fucking back steroid. He might come in with the healthy back and put Volkov to sleep early, so you can't call it in that fight. OSP. He's shown he's like a top 5 gatekeeper. If you're not ready for the top 5, you can't beat OSP. He's very well-rounded. Wrestling. He can submit you. He can knock you out. But he got clipped by Tyson Pedro before winning that fight. He has been knocked out. He's been clipped in multiple fights leading up to this. And Dominic Reyes is undefeated, and he can definitely knock out or submit OSP. But he's only been outside to a decision once in his career. So is it too early? It's hard to fucking call this fight. Ferguson, he's probably the biggest favorite on the card, and so you know that's probably the most confident pick. But he's coming off of a leg injury, a quick turnaround. I mean, he just had surgery like 4 months ago. He's already back fighting Pettis, former champion, who just triangle armbarred Michael Chiesa. Pettis can even fuck around and pull off the upset here, and then of course McGregor versus Khabib. So this whole card, man, it's just hard to call. Just sit back and enjoy every fight. a lot of people are going to be wrong on a lot of predictions, I think. I don't know, man. It's crazy. And then on top of that, it's headlined by McGregor versus Khabib. So insane
Yeah, and
fights.
sometimes the craziest thing happens where you just can't tell, man. Like a Gegard Mousasi, Chris Weidman type of deal. No one can anticipate a DQ, but that can totally happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yep. I just
Injuries, fucking.
And but you brought up something like super that I don't think anybody's thinking about, and that's the Tony Ferguson knee injury. Yo, in 2014, I tore up my meniscus and I super sprained to the point of almost like ripped my ACL in my left knee. And for me, as just a dude, what took the longest to get over, what took almost a year to get over, was my mind.
Yeah, the mental.
Being afraid of my knee. Pettis brought it up, and I'm not like Tony's fucking crazy. Tony is a crazy human being.
Pettis brought it up, and he was like, "It's gonna be hard. He's gonna have to think about checking leg kicks, like all type. He's on it. Yeah. He knows."
My knee, according to the doctor was like, "Yo, you're 100%." It was like 4 or 5 months, and it took a good 9 months, a year, almost a year after that, where I was just like, you know what, fuck it, like it is what it is. Whatever happens, happens. Like I can't sit here and think about the knee. I know for a fact that sometime through this training camp, Tony thought about his knee. Sometime during this, he had to have thought about it.
Oh, for sure. But Tony is just some other type of animal, man.
Yeah, he's crazy. No, he's crazy.
He's legitimately crazy. Seriously.
I mean, the only thing that I see in that is that, Chris, you seem like a pretty sane guy. I mean, you support Chelsea Football Club, so obviously you have your head screwed on, right? But Tony Ferguson, I mean, this guy's so crazy to the point where I don't think he's even going to care about his leg injury in the fight. He's going to be just there dancing, having fun. I mean, as we saw of RDA in Mexico City, we saw him rounds beating RDA up, and that was the former champion. So I feel like someone like Pettis, who we've seen, in my opinion, at least what I've seen is that I've seen him quitting fights. Easy to quit when it gets that bit too hard, and I don't think fighting is as hard as it gets. It's as hard as any sport can ever be, but you have a tendency just to quit. So one person you don't want to fight is someone like Tony Ferguson. So
hell no.
That's just what I see in it. And even from the weight cut, it didn't look like he had even a great weight cut either. He hardly made the weight. So it doesn't look like Pettis he's coming in with a good mindset, but I just don't think he's physically quite there yet to be ready to beat the most credentialed lightweight in the world.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard, but I mean, honestly, if he submitted Pettis or if he was able to, what happened?
Oh no, you said it's gonna be hard. I just put on this that pause for you there. So.
Pause like a motherfucker.
So while I'm here, just shout out Coach Shelton Benjamin, Coach Shelton. Oh, Harrison, sorry. Shout you out. Yeah, your boy Wilder's gonna get knocked out by Fury. But yeah, continue full time.
Yeah, what's going on, Coach Shelton Harrison? Then there'd be no comparison. Is he still in the building? What's going on, Coach? If he's in here, he said, I dub in the damn building. Leon Dubson, man, the full-time family is live in effect. Yeah, guys, so I got a poor. I haven't got any update from Jorge. I was gonna say we might be having to cut it a little shorter unless y'all carry it while I run to the liquor store, but that'd be kind of hard to do. But because if anything happened, I wouldn't be here to shut it down. But it is what it is. So I haven't got any updates. So yeah, we're still good. Fight companion tonight, says Joseph DeClear. Fook, yeah, we're gonna be doing a fight companion. We're like pre-gaming right now, man. We're pre-gaming. They said no, just PayPal, full-time MMA1 at PayPal.com. Yeah, I think this is how you can do it. Link should be in the description, but I'll type it. PayPal.me/full-time MMA. How much? I think it might be like 23 and some change. Cam says, Cam, the Irish Queen Murphy says, Israel, hey, you dog. We got the Irish Queen in the building, Cam Murphy. What's going on? I like that name, the Irish Queen. Dagestan, Dagestani rat exterminator, and he said Pettis the kind of guy to take a shit when he's losing. Yo, who said that? Yo, that's crazy. They said Pettis is the kind of guy to take a shit when he's losing. Yo, that's crazy. For some reason, I think that's Stewie, but that is hilarious. Or did someone else say that he's repeating it? That's hilarious. Oh my Lord. Okay, so yeah, man, Pettis versus Ferguson. I'm picking Ferguson, but I'm just saying I could see Pettis pulling even off a submission. he could submit Ferguson, and then also the leg is a question. So, but Ferguson, he's a lunatic. If anyone can come back from this injury, I do think it's him. And so yeah, I wouldn't pick against Ferguson in this fight, but I'm just saying it's another fight that anything can fucking happen on this night. And then, I mean, I don't know, you guys probably don't, as much people probably ain't paying attention to the Fox Sports prelims as much, like Pettis versus Formiga, Ladd versus Evinger. Any of you guys pay attention to the weigh-ins and see like Aspen Ladd's weigh-ins? Anybody take note of that?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, she was proper shaking, so I mean, I'm worried for her in that
shaking,
sense.
and it looked like she almost like passed out once her eyes closed.
Yeah, I mean, a little worrying.
Are you serious? She was up on the stage and she was shaking?
Yeah. They were making note of it at the weigh-ins. Like, yo, she legit does not look good right now. She's legitimately shaking. Like, her eyes closed for a second, and like she didn't like fall, but it looked like she dipped forward for a quick second. It was like, you know, she didn't look good, but she did say since then she's feeling a lot better. But she's missed weight multiple times cutting down to this weight. And so it's not an easy weight cut for her. And she's going against Tanya Evinger, who's 37 years old. But Tanya Evinger is a fucking WMMA pioneer, and she was the Invicta Bantamweight champion for a while. Aspen Ladd's dangerous, but this is a very winnable fight for Tanya Evinger.
Yeah, my reading on that is that Aspen Ladd, you know, as bad as we saw her, I think there's fighters that have been in worse shape before, because not immediately, but a few, I guess, hours after that, she gave another interview and she looked pretty good to me. She looked, you know, almost fresh. I'm not saying she was 100% fresh, but what I'm saying is, you know, you come out with videos like Darren Till and Conor McGregor, they go through all these weight cuts and we don't get to see the awful part of it. But when they come out, you know, they seem all right. So I'm not too worried about what happened to her. You know, that trembling and almost falling over. So I'm not.
One of my thoughts is, man, maybe she should think about featherweight. I mean, it is a new division. I don't know, just having
She's not that big though.
Well, maybe it's a diet thing. I don't know, because she's missed weight, or maybe it's a discipline thing. She's missed weight multiple times, you know, been pulled from cards, and then so I mean, maybe she can figure it out. Maybe work with a nutritionist or something. She's still very young, and also she's only 6-0, so she's got a lot of potential growing.
Look at her frame, man. Look at her frame. She's not a cyborg type frame. She's not even a Holly Holm type frame. So I think it's a diet for sure. Look at her. She's got some fat to that's kind of mean to say to a female, but I think she can lose a few pounds on that.
And yeah, just make the weight cut a little easier. I hear what you're saying. She's finished 5 of her 6 fights. She's very dangerous. But do you guys have thoughts on this fight? Do you think I honestly was picking Evinger originally, and after the weight cut, I don't know why I wouldn't stick with that pick. I just think Aspen Ladd does have a chance to win this fight, but I think the triple threat Tanya Evinger is still really good. Of course, she's coming off that loss to Cyborg, but who's not going to lose to Cyborg? And that was her way in the UFC. So now she's in her legit division where she was reigning over in Invicta. So I don't know. I think Evinger's got. I'm looking forward to that fight. And if Coach is still in here, I know he is too. I wonder what Coach's thoughts are if he's still in the building.
You know, we're all just simping.
Simping, yeah. Simp segment will be tonight, says Given Sure Name. Yo, we can run the simp segment. Honestly, last time, you know what's funny? The last simp segment got our video flagged. Like, it was just too hot. It not like flagged down, but it was inappropriate unless like for mature audiences. Because I think it had like maybe Michelle Watterson did the ESPN body issue. And so since that was on the simp segment, fucking, it was like, yo, that's pretty much new. It's like, so you're going to tell me like the cover of ESPN isn't appropriate for all ages? Is that what you're telling me, YouTube?
I will tell you this much. That Karate Hottie versus Felice Herring, you guys already know. You know how I feel about that fight. But how I feel about 9 out of the 10 female top 10 strawweights in the UFC. You already know what they're fighting for week in, week out in my eyes.
What is that?
You already know. They're fighting for who's going to get the D from me first. I love 115. That top 10 minus certain Carlos Esparza can get the Dickens anytime. Any goddamn time.
Hey, that is a perfect transition into the sip segment. Like we have to after that. Like, all right, guys, we gotta take 30 seconds to a minute. We gotta go to the sip segment after that motherfucking explosion. Look at Pearl Gonzalez in the pool. Yo, one of these photographers, they got this thing going. We saw, who was it recently posing in the pool? You know what I'm talking about too, Michelle Watterson. But yo, I'm a fan of these pool pictures. We got Pearl Gonzalez. Why does she look like Cynthia Calvillo right there, bro? I legit was looking at that like, is this Cynthia Calvillo? Pearl Gonzalez.
She does look like her, man.
Yeah, I thought it was her, and I was like, wait, this is Pearl. But yeah, Pearl Gonzalez over there in Invicta killing shit after being released by the UFC. And I'm sure she also makes your list. Who is this? Jessica Albu? I know Jessica Albu anywhere. Look at Jessica go. That's how she celebrated her last win. She posted like some twerking video. All right, guys, simp segment over. Simp segment over. We had to transition to.
Wait, why?
Michelle Watterson ready for her fight. He said, wait, why? Let's go, man. All right, how do I get out of this thing? Here we go. All right, guys, back to the fights. Put your dick back in your pants. Pause. No, but with that being said, man, it's UFC 229. What time does the prelims start? 5:30 p.m. Eastern. So in about an hour and a half, the early fight pass prelims start, guys. So
damn.
Shit.
Oh my god.
An hour and a half, and it's gonna be UFC 229 starting. Man, have you guys watched all the embedded yet? Yep. PayPal sent, says Jorge won. Oh yeah. Snaps, we got the PayPal. All right, yeah, guys. Well. That's what we'll do, man. We'll do our closing thoughts on UFC 229. That'll give me time to go to the liquor store, get this bottle of proper 12, and motherfucking we will get it going in time for the live fight companion. So hopefully you guys come through for that as well. So it's going to be fucking lit. I'm about to take a shot right now. And while I do that, you guys, let's get your closing thoughts on UFC 229, the fights that are tonight, predictions, whatever you want to run off with at the end of the show, your closing thoughts. Let's go. We will start with Christian.
My first closing thought of tonight is one, this is going to be an amazing card. I don't see how it cannot, even if all fights go the distance. I just don't see how we're not going to be treated by a beautiful display of mixed martial arts. I just don't see it. Everybody on this card is fucking amazing. How does the main card end up? I don't even know. I don't even know where Michelle Watterson, Felice Herring. I think Felice Herring takes her down, maybe gets, like a decision. Volkov and Derek Lewis. You can't bet against the black dude, but fucking Volkov is a beast, bro.
He just finished Fabricio Verdun in the 4th round.
He was in his guard, stood up, and TKO'd the man. Like, I don't. Well, yeah, stood up, was on the feet, and caught him on the feet. I don't know. But how can you root against Derek Lewis? Like,
I don't want to root against him, but
how do you pick against him?
It's like you don't know where his back is at. He's probably not as technical. Both of these guys fought Roy Nelson. He is.
He looks slim.
He is.
He looks slim.
I've got like I don't know why, I've got an optimism he's gonna come in with like that USADA approved steroid in his back and just knock shit out in the 1st round, and I'm gonna go fucking crazy if he does. Oh god.
I just don't know. I don't know how that one ends up. OSP, something tells me I didn't like OSP's energy at the weigh-ins yesterday at all. Something about him, his last couple of fights, something about OSP. I think he's starting to realize like he's never gonna be a champion. He's just gonna be a gatekeeper, and that's a dangerous. Michael Bisping, one of my I was a fan of Michael Bisping when it wasn't cool to be an American as a fan of Michael Bisping. Do you know how I felt when I saw Dan Henderson, fucking knocking Michael Bisping's head off during that fight? Like, I felt crushed. And I've always been a Bisping fan, but Bisping never felt like a gatekeeper. Bisping was always a champion. I think OSP doesn't have that. I think OSP realizes he's a gatekeeper forever, and it's unfortunate because the dude has skills. Ferguson, Pettis, Khabib, and McGregor. I'll let you guys pick. I just know that it's gonna be those two fights are gonna be motherfuckers. Shut the hell up. I just know that those fights are just gonna be like exactly what us fight fans expect from
That's what we
cards.
live for, man.
We're gonna be treated, man. We're just gonna be treated, and at the end of the night, I can guarantee you one thing: I'm gonna be hitting that proper 12 bottle in either celebration or in agony. But I'm gonna be hitting that bottle either way.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the panel, man. It was dope. Hopefully you come back through. Thanks for coming on, Christian. And what about you, Ford? What are your thoughts? What are your predictions for UFC 229?
Man, I predict a crazy ass night of fights, man. I mean, I already know that as soon as the fights are finished, I'm gonna fight press conference, and we're just looking at backlash and the reaction to this fight card. I mean, we're gonna be talking about it almost even more than we are talking about it now. It's gonna be crazy, and I mean, I can't wait. I just can't wait. And you know, my closing thoughts, really, there's two things I want to touch on. First of all, is just it was opening 30 seconds to a minute of the McGregor Khabib fight. As much as I've talked about how Khabib can win this, and I'm kind of leaning towards him winning, is that first 1 minute is going to be so important. It's going to be key to the entire fight, because we know both guys like the pressure, but Khabib doesn't always pressure, and Conor always pressures from the start. So it's whether Khabib can stand up to that, not rush a takedown, because Conor will see it coming. He'll come with those bolo uppercuts, he'll come with a knee. He's a lot smarter than the guys he's fought in the past. So have this counter-striking game on point, Conor, and Khabib just has to be careful. And my last thing I want to touch on is, I don't know if you guys have seen the USC promo that came out today. There can only be one king. It was narrated by John Malkovich. And, I mean, for me, other than the DC Jones 2 promos that came out before, and that was pre-fight, it's probably the best promo I've ever seen from the UFC. I mean, it was an amazing promo, got me hyped for the fight. So, man, I just can't wait for tonight's fight to start. I can't wait. And I can't wait to see the proper sort of, the logo and the canvas, man. I just can't wait to see them and have the image in my head of Khabib being knocked out there. I mean, hopefully, inshallah, alhamdulillah, Conor gets it done inside one.
Okay, man. Oh, fuck, you crazy night of fights. Well, I appreciate you coming on the panel once again. As always, forward. Brian, how about you? What are your predictions for UFC 229? Break it down for us.
Yeah. So, again, I'm going to end this the way I started it. The fight is high-level MMA, no matter how you look at it. This right here is just a moment to take in and enjoy. I think that no matter how it ends, no matter who you're rooting for, I don't think that has any bearing on how you're going to experience this fight. So my thing is to come in here with just an open mind, see what's happening, kind of like one of the fights that got me going like that was that that Cowboy versus Medeiros. Holy crap, that was a barn burner. When I was watching it, I don't remember what I was doing. I was just hanging out, and just the way that thing brought you in, man, I think we're going to have something like that in the main event. And there was no other way to see that but to enjoy it. Later on, you can have the comments, you can have the breakdowns, you can have the replay, but that moment when it's live, when it just hits that point of no return, when ding, 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 the bell goes on, it's just about witnessing and just experiencing high-level MMA.
Yes, sir. All right. Well said. Well, thanks for coming on the panel. Thanks for breaking it down. Hopefully you'll be back for future panels. So appreciate everybody coming on. For as far as me, I like what he had to say about just enjoying the fights tonight. I seen someone said they were looking forward to my predictions, and I am not looking forward to giving my predictions because it's too hard to call on. Like I broke down earlier, every one of these fights, I feel like I know who should win. I'll tell you who I think should win each fight, but I'll tell you why I'm probably going to be wrong. I feel like Felice Herrig should win tonight. I feel like she's 4-1 in her last 5 fights, losing a split decision to Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Michelle Waterson, probably a natural atom weight. That's probably where she should be fighting if there was the division. But so I feel like Felice should win, but I feel like Michelle Waterson, everyone's not counting her out. There are some people picking her to win, but I feel like she's got a good chance of winning it. As much as Felice Herrig could, outmuscle her, I think Michelle Waterson will have the technical strength. She'll probably have a higher output on the feet. She could submit Felice, but I feel like Felice should win. Volkov, I actually feel like Volkov should beat Lewis, honestly. If you're talking about skill, I think Volkov is a better fighter right now than Derek Lewis. And I like Derek Lewis more. I'm a bigger fan of Derek Lewis. But if you're talking about his back issues, if you're talking about cardio questions, I feel like Volkov has proven more in his 4 fights in the UFC with his 4th round finish of Fabricio Verdum. Both of these guys fought Roy Nelson, and I'm not saying like this guy beat this guy and this guy beat this guy, but I'm just saying if you compare their fights, they both fought Roy Nelson within a year of each other, and Roy Nelson, I believe, took Derek Lewis down 8 times or so. Volkov steamrolled him. So I feel like Lewis or Volkov has looked better against the same competition. His win over Fabricio Verdum, I feel like, is more impressive than any win in Lewis. And I'm a big fan of Lewis, but it's partly the shit outside the octagon as much as inside the octagon. We've seen Lewis down early in fights against guys like Marcin Tybura, right? And he came back and got the 3rd round knockout. So I feel like Volkov should win this fight, but you can't count Derek Lewis out. And also, his back, it could be healed. He's got some USADA-approved steroids. So that's why, as much as I think he should win, he could lose. Reyes versus St. Preux. I think OSP should win this fight, the underdog. I think he should, because Reyes has never fought anyone on the level of Ovince St. Preux. He's 9-0. He's never fought anyone on the level of OSP. OSP's only loses to the top 5 guys in the world. But in his last fight versus Tyson Pedro, I picked OSP to win, and he did, but he got cracked, and he almost lost. And Dominic Reyes, his nickname is the Devastator for a reason. He's fucking devastating. He can knock you out. He can submit you. OSP's only lost to guys like John Jones, Ilir Latifi, fucking Manawa, top 5 guys, and Reyes is not that. He hasn't proven that at all. OSP can submit you. He can knock you out. He can fucking out-wrestle you. But he can also get fucking clipped, and Reyes can finish you. So I feel like OSP should win, but Reyes could win. Every one of these fights, there's no one you can count out, even in the co-main event. Anthony Pettis. If Ferguson was at 100%, I would think Pettis, his chances were slim. But Ferguson's coming back off of the knee injury, pretty nasty surgery, coming back pretty early. It can be a mental thing. I'm sure Pettis is going to be, he knows about it. He's talked about it at the scrums. Like, yo, he ain't going to be checking kicks as much. He's going to have to think about checking kicks. I know he's coming off the surgery. So Pettis is going to be kicking that motherfucking leg. And by the way, Pettis also, if the fight goes to the floor, Ferguson probably has the better wrestling. If the fight goes to the floor, Pettis has shown he can submit black belts. He's got great jiu-jitsu. So you can't count Pettis all the way out, as much as Ferguson could be the undisputed fucking champion in a perfect world. If he had a million fans, he'd be the undisputed champion. If Tony Ferguson had fucking 50 million Twitter followers, he'd be the champion. He wouldn't have got stripped when he did. And Khabib and Iaquinta would have been fighting for an interim belt. But because of politics, I feel like it played into Tony Ferguson kind of getting stripped. Yeah, he got injured, but at the same time, it is what it is. So Ferguson could win. One of the best lightweights in the world. Might be the lightweight GOAT. Hey, no, but with that being said, Pettis could also come in here and pull off the upset. So in each fight, I feel like someone should win, but the other one could win, including the fucking main event. I feel like Khabib should win, but we all know Conor could win. So that's where I'm at. That's why I don't... These predictions, every single fucking fight on the main card, I can't call it. Can't call it. I can give you a prediction, but I just think that's all it is. It don't matter what you do, you could be wrong in any of these fights. So with that being said, it's going to be a great night of fights, and that's why I like what Brian said. Instead of giving predictions and trying to be right on this whole card, man, get your motherfucking proper 12, or if you don't drink, don't get your proper 12. Get what you need and just enjoy the fights tonight, because it's going to be insane. That's what I do predict, a great night of fights. So with that being said, I thank everyone for coming on the panel. I thank everybody for coming through to the chat. I got to hit to the liquor store and get this bottle of proper 12 before the motherfucking fights start and before my girls got to go to work. So, yeah, with that being said, I better get out the door now. Thank you guys for coming through. It is what it is, man. Let the full-time family know what you guys think in the comments. And, again, thank you, panel. We are out.